Alrighty, so I received a request to do some word cloud style designs. These are pretty popular on Merch by Amazon and other platforms. I mean, probably because they're so easy to create. So, um, I mean, I say they're easy. There's some tricks to it. So I just there's a few ways to go about it. One way is to manually do it, as in type your words directly into the shape. Here we have a unicorn, directly into the shape of the unicorn. You can curve your words along the edges, and you can get really detailed. This can take quite a while. So that is one method. The other method is using one of these word cloud sites, and the one I'm going to look at here is wordclouds.com. If there's a better one out there, let me know. This is the most fully featured one I've found, specifically because it lets you upload shapes and stuff to create your design out of. So the first thing we want to do on word clouds is we want to go to shape. We'll upload. For the shape, you just need an image that's black and white. In this case, in Illustrator, I had this unicorn, so I exported it as a PNG out of Illustrator, just a black and white image. And you can see it kind of starts populating what looks like roughly the shape. We can cut on the mask to where we can see kind of the shape that we're working inside of. So let me go through some of the settings in here. First of all, size. That's going to be the size that it outputs the file to. You can either keep it kind of how it is, because we're going to be exporting it as an SVG later, which means it's vector and you'll be able to scale it, so you don't have to worry about a huge size. Or if you just want to export it that will work directly for a shirt, then you would want to go to a custom size and use the 45,000 by 5,000 standard Merch by Amazon shirt design. Okay, so that brings us to the word list. By default, it has a bunch of lorem ipsum Greeking text, which is just filler text. And to understand this section, it shows this example up here, basically how it works. So what you want to do is create your words and put them in this list. And the number in the first column is the number, the weight or the size of the word. So in this case, you can see we have tons of words. This is, and they vary up and down here. So what we need actually is more words for this example. You don't need more, but I'm gonna put in more just so I can kind of show you how this works. So I went to one of these Greeking text lorem ipsum generators, and I'm just gonna take like a paragraph of this to show you guys roughly how this works. And it has this paste type text dialog, so you can go in there, paste what we just got, apply. Alright, now it'll redo all the words. Okay, and up here you'll see it says 58 words not drawn. That means it didn't think it had enough room based on the word you input. So if you go back to the word list, you can see how it kind of auto on some sort of curve, bell curve or something, like sets up these words. So here's all of our words. Now we can go to this slider right here. There's this big plus minus slider, and we can subtract some, which will make all the words smaller, which should fit more words. Alright, so now there's 46 words not shown. Alright, now we're at 4 words not shown, but you can still see, and some shapes are going to be better than others. In fact, I've noticed that I've not been able to truly get it to want to go up this unicorn horn. And you can see it's actually kind of running out of words because it didn't fill up this tail or this little piece here. So let's take it up a bit just to make sure. Kind of want to make sure it gets filled up, but not. All right, I think we need to take it down and add more words if we truly wanted to fill it, but I don't really think that's necessary because that's not really the type of design you'd go for. This is probably pretty good. I mean, most likely you're going to use this shape in your final design. So, all right. Next, let's see. So gap size. Gap size is basically the distance between the words. So if you want larger, less crowded words, let's take this up to 12. You can kind of see it really spreads them out. Go to 8. I've noticed the gap size can kind of play with the edge. So it's sometimes kind of better to keep it at a lower gap size. I find the lower gap size kind of looks more neat. Then we have the direction of the words. It has all these presets in here. Basically, randomizer or uphill, horizontal, downhill. These two, randomist. These three are going to fill up the space the best. I'm not saying they'll look the best. A lot of the designs I've seen often use there. You'll see them have the words along the curve, like say the belly of this unicorn, and that's something that this thing cannot do, is curve the text. So I'll just give you an example of kind of how the randomness works. You can see it'll spin them and flip them all around, however it best thinks that they'll fit. Let's look at the uphill, downhill. I think this one actually looks pretty good. It looks a little disheveled. But a lot of the designs you see are this one right here. The horizontal and vertical. Basically just up and down or horizontal. Then we have the theme. That's going to be the color. You can do custom colors, or you can choose some of their themes. We'll stick with this one for now. Alright, so then here's where you can choose your custom colors for your theme. Let's make it kind of unicornish. Let's add some pink. Purple's good. Maybe some light pink. Some of this like cyan blue. It's more seafoam, but oops. Let's see. Let's add some yellow. Add some brighter blue. Darker purple. And maybe we'll add some. There we go. For the background, you're going to probably want it transparent, I'm going to imagine. So what you'll do there is just drag this slider down. Alright, so now we have the design in here. Let's shrink the word some, get it a little more filled up. Alright, so that's the kind of basic features. Oh, and you can change the font. I'm sorry, I almost forgot this. For this one, Pacifico's pretty good, I would guess, for a unicorn design. You can actually choose other Google fonts too. But you can actually change the font in Illustrator after we export it, but you have to think that the width of the font is going to change, which can really mess up your your spacing. So we'll keep it Pacifico right here. Alright, so now we can either save it as a PNG, which is gonna, if you make it merge sized in the custom section, that's just gonna export a straight PNG. You can cut your mask off to just have the text, or you can cut your mask back on. I'm gonna cut it off actually. Actually, I'll leave it on. I'm curious how this exports. So then we'll go to save as SVG. We'll save this as unicorn. It says it's experimental. Alright. There we go. So now if you go in here, you have your unicorn file. I'm actually going to go back out. Oops. We have our unicorn file. Let's go ahead and take our unicorn path back here, paste it in there. Let's match it up. So I want to show you kind of how to get a nicer looking edge on here. Let's go to object. All right, let's see. That's pretty close right there. That is really close. Alright, so now we can kind of keep that like that. It actually doesn't look bad. But for a white shirt, you know, I'd probably make it white. And then I'll probably add some sort of border. So we will go to Window Stroke. I just updated my Illustrator and my settings are all over the place. Let's see if my workspace. Negatory. Alright, yes, so Window Stroke. We want to show those options. The stroke color is this one right here. Let's make it like some sort of pink color, a little softer. Alright, then we can thicken it up. But what you'll see a lot of is they use these profiles to kind of give it a wavy shape. And there's actually more of these to choose from. That's probably for another tutorial. But yeah, so you kind of get this. You can kind of get this thicker edge here. That would make. Let's turn it back to black so you can kind of see what the inside looks like. Well, helps if I select it. Yeah, so there you go. That's how you would create a word cloud design. Now, it didn't go up into that horn, so you could kind of manually do that if you'd like. Let me zoom in there. Let's do some work in there real quick. Let's take one of these words. I will hold down Alt to duplicate it. Let's see here. Probably gonna need to shrink it some. Alright, let's twist it a little more. Alright, put it in there. And to be honest, if I was making this design, I would actually leave the words out of the horn, and I would probably like, you know, kind of candy stripe the horn to make it, you know, various colors. So, all right, that's how I would that's how I would quickly create these word cloud designs that are, you know, pretty trendy on Merch by Amazon and other print on